What is going on, man? Let me
What's
see
up,
here.
Bubba?
You know what it is. Hold on. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Probably take a little bit of time for some people to get on in, but it's my guy. You know what it is. Big Game James, Mike White. Not to be considered. Not don't confuse him with that Mike White that was we thought that was going to do something with Dallas and he just flamed out. This is the other Mike White. Not to be tried. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Bubba? I have benefited the Dallas Cowboys more than that dude ever will.
Oh, you live off that name, dog. Every soon as somebody pick Mike White, I'll be like, Mike White, Dallas Cowboys, he back with the Cowboys?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
at least I can't pretend like I'm going to throw the football.
Damn, man. I know, right? Shout out to my guy Joe Tranchina on Facebook. Merry Christmas to you, Joe Tranchina from Italy. Faithful supporter. Appreciate you guys. Let me see who's all in the other feed, the YouTuber feed. They're getting in there. I know they are. But I like to wish you a Merry Christmas. I'm not the Christmas guy. You know what I mean? I'm not the Christmas guy, Mike. I'm not. I'm more the Scrooge guy. I feel like now I feel it's not even Christmas anymore. This don't even feel like Christmas to me. And I just feel like you just marketing all stuff. Ain't nobody really about giving and all that stuff. But maybe I'm just a Scrooge about it.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty a shit. That's kind of Scroogey, aka shitty way to look at it.
He said that's kind of Scroogey.
I mean, you. I mean, it's just I if there's ever a time to be, somewhat nice to somebody that you remotely care about, there's, that's the season for it. It doesn't necessarily, the holiday just gives you an excuse. You know,
Uh-huh.
that's the way I see it. It's not about consumerism. You don't have to go out there and buy somebody a SUV or a pickup truck.
But
To
that's
tell
what
them,
they assume. Them
yeah,
kids do for
no,
sure.
no, that absolutely not.
Okay.
That's
Talk to me. Maybe you can get the Scrooge out of me.
some of the nicest things I've ever had in my life. Every one of my birthdays or something like that. Lady makes me a card, and
Uh-huh.
and it costs maybe 20 cents of fucking paper, but she sits there and she writes down on it, and there's actual thought and love that goes into it. It ain't about the money; it's about the process of whom you care about and what you
Mhm.
did to go through that. And time, and that is time, and time is money. So if
Mhm.
you put some thought into that, and you know go out of your way to do something nice for somebody, the monetary value has no meaning whatsoever. That's so.
Preach to me. I appreciate that. Thank you for giving me that. And I'm gonna put that in and I'm gonna deposit that and we're gonna see if it happens. So I definitely so I definitely appreciate you. But hey man, we got a game coming up, a big game that's getting ready to come up, man, against these Eagles. We played them early in the season. Danucci, we saw what he did. Looked like he was playing bowling. He was looked like he was. If he would have been bowling that night, he'd have been a 300 guy because he was bowling pins everywhere. Defense played really good. Had four sacks. Had a whole bunch of turnovers. Could have won that game, but we just didn't have the offense to do it. Now we play them again. They're 4-9-1. We're 5-9. We could win two games. Watch them lose the rest of their games. We could be right back in the playoffs. What's your kind of thoughts, with this Philly matchup? And what's the kind of your thoughts how the season has kind of turned? Dallas is on a 2-game win streak. Big Mike,
Man,
what kind of thoughts?
uh,
No
has
fools
this
though.
has this not been the most wild season of all? Like, the games you're supposed to lose, you win. The games you're supposed to win, you lose.
Right.
Like this is the first back to back win we've had, and what I think it's like 17 games or some crazy nonsense like that. It's the most 2020 season of all time, and I think this defense is going to have a severe issue with that mobile quarterback, but I don't know what they're going to do against Andy. This.
Mhm.
They could very easily win this game. I don't want them to, but
Why do you keep on saying you don't want them to, Mike? Because this isn't no super great draft. What is your thought pattern when you keep on saying you don't want Dallas to win? Because at the end of the day, is this draft that strong for you to sit there and say some top guy that you're going to scoop
No,
up?
no, 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 no. I don't want to accidentally make the playoffs and drop 7 spots from the draft. If you
Well, look where we drafted though, Mike 17th, and how was that 2020 draft?
for sure,
And
that
even
was
the year before that.
I did, but it's not just that particular pick. It's that particular slotting the entire way through the draft, and it's specifically for the first 2 days. That's the difference there. It's a difference in a guy that you may really want. Like how many times we've been burning the second round, waiting on a guy to come back around. That's the issue.
Got you. You want to stay in that top half the whole way through.
The top half of the draft the entire way through. That's the idea. Because
you really want to lose to the Eagles though, Mike?
No, I'd actually rather go lay down in the woods and die than lose to the Eagles. But if we lose to the Eagles, I'm not going to get on Twitter.com and be fire the coach, cut the quarterback, fire the wide receiver. That nonsense.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Let me give a few shout outs to the people in the building, Mike, and then we're going to keep going on. Let me start from the top. I got Justin D is in the building. Is it the CFZ? What's going on? Happy holidays to you. Ready, Red. Hey, how you doing? Boo thing, she's in the building. Harold, I don't call you that other first name no more. You just Harold. T Smooth TV. What's up with your dog? Mel Hayes, my goon squad. Throw it up. Hey man, Lee Norman, my other member. All my members is getting in the building. Keep on getting in, man. It's Christmas Eve. Let's talk some Cowboys football. We could be on the brink, like Mike said. This has been a wild, crazy season, man. We went from this looked terrible when Dak went down to like we might not win another game this season the way we look, to bouncing up, fighting back, getting a 2-game win streak. We know the Niners weren't a good team, but they had a solid defense. They didn't have a good quarterback, but they had a solid running game, and they were kind of gashing us until Mosette kind of went out. But at the end of the day, Cowboys held off and prevailed, and got some more turnovers in that game. Had 2 interceptions. Donovan Wilson showed up again. How you feeling? How the team is playing? I don't know if I already asked you that question, but what do you feel like the pulse of the team is right now heading into this Eagles matchup?
I feel like the defense is playing harder. It's not any better. They're still playing bad assignment football. I know we won these last 2 games, but they were still moving the ball up and down the field as they chose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, make no mistake about it. They're still on pace to be the all-time worst defense of literally all time in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So, but there was a little bit of better assignment football. Our linebackers are bad. It's hard for me. It's really hard for me to be positive about it. We won that game accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you've been playing really bad quarterbacks, really, really bad quarterbacks. You've been playing worse than Andy Dalton quarterbacks, and you happen to win 2 games out of it. And people want to act like the defense is turning a corner. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
That's what I said. Don't be fooled because we won that game. They still put up 458 yards. I know it was a bomb pass, but at the end of the day, they were gashed. Mosette was doing his thing, and when the backup came in, he was running all over us as well. And then, like I said, Nick Mullins, he didn't look like an all-pro, but he looked like an okay quarterback against our defense. So it's still the same old defense, and going into this matchup, I would have felt better, of course, when Wentz was playing by as bad as he playing. Now I look at this matchup, like you said, it's a whole different thing because you got a mobile quarterback and you got a guy who it looks like he's captivated the city because of the back and forth with Carson Wentz. And then he's coming in. Stephen Jones comes out of nowhere, and I'm going to ask your thoughts about it. Stephen Jones comes out of nowhere and says, we kind of see Jalen Hurts like we saw Dak. And, he kind of has a mirror kind of image of what Dak is. We think highly of Dak, all that, whatever, mumbo jumbo, that part. But I agree in that aspect. And, we talked this week on the Late Night Hype, Mike, that I don't I'm not gonna ever. It's gonna be hard. It's not hard to root against the Eagles for sure, but to watch Jalen Hurts, I can't say I hate on him. I can say I hated on Carson Wentz. I can say I hated on Carson Wentz, but Jalen Hurts, I'm looking forward if they bring back Dak Prescott to watching those battles because I think those two will bring the best out of each other. I think those will be devastating, like great matchups. Because I feel like they mirror each other, like Stephen Jones says, as far as the leadership. And I feel like they start rising to the occasion. Think they bring up their team. What's your kind of thoughts on his comparison?
Stephen Jones is a little bit drunk. He must have been off that scotch. Jalen Hurts isn't half the passer that Dak Prescott is. Not even coming out of college. No.
Really?
No.
I don't know about that.
No,
I'm not going to sit there and say Dak was no polished passer, dog. He kind of came in ridiculous, but he really? I don't know about that one.
Jalen Hurts has a more consistent base, but he's at the top. He's at the top of his arm. He is not. He was in a very complimentary system with Lincoln Riley. Rolling. He was. If you remember him in Alabama, I mean that wasn't the dude you wanted throwing the ball whatsoever. And Dak Prescott could make any throw you wanted. His base was just really, really bad. And once his base has gotten fixed, he has gotten significantly better at throwing the football. And I do not think that on his best day that Jalen Hurts could be better than Dak Prescott at actually throwing the football in the NFL.
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I wasn't when Dak came out of college. When I saw that first game against the Rams, that kind of I looked at it like, okay, I want to see something because I seen him in college and I didn't think he was I thought he was an accurate passer, like with the short passes, but I didn't think he was an accurate passer on the deep ball. And like you said, his feet weren't good. He moved around, and I think that's why that deep ball fluttered. And I was just wondering about his accuracy in the NFL. And I was very surprised. I'm not going to lie. When I saw him 2016 throwing the ball the way he did, I was very surprised what he did. But when I saw 2017, I thought that was more of him, and he had to build back up. But he is steadily got better. And I definitely don't think Jalen Hurts is the passer. But what I do think, what I'm comparing him to is that leadership, and just he kind of has that, I'm not going to say the it factor, but he has the factor where locker room will say, I want to follow you. And I think that's really big in the NFL.
I can go with you on that. There's something to that. There's definitely something to that. I can go with you there for sure.
And I feel like he's the type of player that it will be like Dak, to where he's never going to be satisfied. He's always going to work harder. He's never going to be sitting there saying, I'm satisfied with my craft. I feel like he will take that and gravitate it and make it personal to him, more or less than like a Carson Wentz who maybe came in entitled, because you see how he acted as soon as he got benched. He's like, I want out of here. That's entitlement. You know what I'm saying? You can't even fight for your job. If you're the better player than Jalen Hurts, why are you crying about, I want to go ahead and play somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? They just signed you to this contract. You feel like you're the better player. No, let's jump in this competition. I'm going to beat you and take my job back.
There's two ways you can handle that. You can handle it. You can get all butthurt like Carson Wentz did, or you can do what Aaron Rodgers did. Like, oh, y'all think this dude's going to take my job?
Right.
This dude, this the dude y'all drafted? Okay. Okay. Let's line this shit up and see. Let's see what happens. And unfortunately, Carson Wentz is not that guy. I mean, fortunately, I guess, because I wish nothing but the worst for Philadelphia from all time. The rest of the times, I hope they never win another game for the rest of the entire franchise. So. If they went 0-192, it'd be the happiest day of my life,
Right.
But
like I said, it's going to be an interesting matchup, man. It's going to be a game where I'm going to be interested to see. LVE, is he a game time decision? He's got a high ankle sprain. He's probably not going to play.
What are they talking about with that? It was a high ankle. Then it was he could practice.
Right,
high ankle sprain. High ankle sprain. It's
not playing 2 to 3 weeks. Right,
that's 6 weeks. Is what a high ankle is.
Well, so it's bad to know that. I don't know, dog. But do you know what? That can segue to this because we're talking about linebackers. Everybody's been talking about what we've been talking about. I ain't going to say we the claim to fame to it. You threw it out there. I kind of jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? With this Sean Lee thing. You know, it's gaining a lot of steam now. You feel me, big dog? We've been talking about that Sean Lee thing for a while now. You know what I'm saying? Now it's starting to gain steam. You hear Mike McCarthy saying, you know, if you want to be dumb enough to jump into this coaching thing, let's have a conversation. Then they just made this post with Sean Lee, where how he's basically breaking down, you know, how he gets excited, you know, being able to understand concepts of offense and you know, route running and, you know, where to jump the route on the defense. He said that's exciting to him because he said he's obsessed with that. And I definitely believe it. I feel like this is one guy who doesn't just talk about that being obsessed. I think this dude is really obsessed. You know, they already got to Scott McCurley, and he's been with McCarthy, you know, at Green Bay. We've seen how this defense plays. How do you think that will play out? Do you think they will really come at Sean Lee like, hey, man, go ahead and retire and go ahead and try to make this move? Or are they going to say, it'll be up to you how you want to do it? What do you think that's going to happen with this Sean Lee thing going into next year?
I mean, I would –
give me what you think they would do, not what you feel. Give me what you feel and then what you think they will do.
They're going to move George Edwards to D.C. because Mike Zimmer is going to tell him to keep George Edwards on, and then they'll move Sean Lee to either linebacker coach or assistant DC, which will be DC next year when he already should have been DC this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to do. This dude, and Sean Lee knows what's wrong with this defense. He knows the personnel. He's been running the linebacker meetings for the better part of a decade. He's been running the defensive meetings. When Marinelli was asleep down the hall the entire last 2 seasons, he would be running the defensive meetings. And I hate the idea that, you know, how the hire within, you know, make Romo the OC or, you know, this, that, or the other.
Right.
But it's not the same. It's not the same whatsoever. Sean Lee is a grinder. He is an absolute grinder in the game. And if he's not coaching here, he's going to be coaching somewhere else.
And he's going to be damn good.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So this is, I feel you. This is you know, when we talk about how we both kind of don't like how you just say you pass it right on, it's in-house, you don't look out elsewhere. We don't like that because that's that stuff that keeps the building the way it is, and we don't get over the hump because we keep on doing that. But like you said, I think with Sean Lee, he's the one exception to the rule, in my opinion, because, you know, I just don't want to lose him. We can't lose him in my estimation. Like other people like, okay. And, you know, I don't like that where you just look at one guy, but Sean Lee is a guy who I feel like is going to be a great coordinator. I feel like he's going to be a great coach. I feel like he's always going to command the respect league-wide. If he were to go to another organization, even if they didn't play with him, I feel like league-wide they would already respect him because it was never because of his ability. It was because of the injuries. If Sean Lee was an injury, he'd been one of the best linebackers ever played the game. I feel like one of the best because he had the ability and his mind was ridiculous. So, no, we can't let him get out the building. I wish, like you said, I wish he would have just called it quits last year. He could have already been on the staff, and then you could have possibly been interviewing him for the defensive coordinator this year that we had, and it could have happened because I don't feel like he needs 3 to 4 or 5 years to prove his worth on the defensive staff to move him to a defensive coordinator position. What are your thoughts?
No, that's what it is. And Sean Lee, he's been playing, I think it's like roughly like 10, 11% of the snaps on the year. He has 5 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
He has 5.
Mm-hmm.
He's done. He's been done. He's been done for 3 seasons.
He's done.
And I just don't want to lose him to another team and have him go Eberflus somebody else. And he knows this. He knows his personnel. He's been here, 12 years?
Right.
And he's seen every sort of defense you could run through, and knows his personnel, and he knows what's wrong, and he knows what could be fixed. if given the chance. Now, would he be given the chance? I don't think so because, Jalen Smith isn't going anywhere, and they're probably going to try to run LVE out there another season. So that
There
is
ain't
what
no
it is.
trying. They're going to run LVE out there because they still believe in that happening. They're going to say, well, when we get the new coordinator, let's see what they do under that. You know how the Cowboys think. That's exactly what they're going to do because they're really one thing about the Cowboys, they easily show their hand. It's not like they don't hide things, and it's not like you can't really catch on to what they were doing. You know what I mean? Do you think, okay, so let me ask you this. If Sean Lee moves to the staff, they got Scott McCurley. Will they move Scott McCurley outside off the linebackers position and give it to Sean Lee? What do you think will happen with that? Will it be a Mike McCarthy thing? He said he was going to have the conversation. Would he move Scott McCurley? Because obviously the linebackers have regressed. They haven't played great all year.
He can kick rocks. Sean Lee's going straight to DC.
You
Ain't
think
no line.
so, dog? He's not. What do you mean? You said George Edwards going to be DC.
That's what they'll do. That's not what they should do.
You think he can? You think he has the ability to go to defensive coordinator right now, just green like that?
Yes, I do. I really do. For this team in particular, he's been here so long. He knows the personnel. He's been running meetings. He is literally the Peyton Manning of defense. He is obsessed with the game. His body has just absolutely failed him. He can't make the plays anymore. You can see him. You throw on 22. He's in position. He just can't get there. He just can't move, and he knows. He knows his team. He knows the defense. Who else? You're gonna bring in some.
Well, here's my thing. You talked about the George Edwards. We talked about it. My guy BJ Nix. We talked about it, and it just seems like it's more. You already had George Edwards just sitting in the wings, not saying a one word. Everybody heard it's like the senior assistant type thing. These making up these titles that I don't even know about, right?
Oh, they love making up titles.
You know what I'm saying? You make up a title out of nowhere. Oh, he's the senior assistant, or he's the life coach. He's the assistant head coach, life coach. Like, I don't understand it, but okay. But he's just sitting in the wings. You ain't heard nothing about George Edwards. But like you said, he was over there with Mike Zimmer. You already knew when you saw Mike Zimmer attached to him what it was could have been, because Mike Zimmer was with the Cowboys. It's easy to follow the trail. It's like they throwing a bunch of bread to you and you just following the trail. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like it was hard to figure out. And it just seems like they're going to make that smooth transition to it, because Jerry's already talking about, we shouldn't have went to the 3-4. We shouldn't have changed this. We did too many changes. So what is the way to do it? And I'm older. I don't want to take forever looking for a coordinator. Let me go with this guy, George Edwards, who I already talked to Mike Zimmer, and he said he's legit. I like him. Let me go ahead and move. That doesn't say George Edwards might not be good, but it's just always that kind of one search and done. And that's, I feel like, the problem with the Cowboys. Even if you like this guy as your guy, do a valid search, because you never know what can happen. You might meet somebody else and say, well, you know what? I like him, but this guy kind of gravitated to me. Don't always just go to one thing, because I feel like that's the problem, man.
I mean, if we're going to be negative like that, that's obviously the problem. The Jones boys want to be comfortable. That's the reason Jason Garrett stayed here employed 8 years longer than he should have. And that's the reason he got hired in the first place. They want comfortability. You chased off Mike Zimmer. You chased off Wade Phillips. You chased off Sean Payton. You chased off
Eberflus.
You chased off Eberflus. You chased these dudes off because you'd rather show up to work on Monday morning and be able to have a comfortable conversation instead of a coach asking you, hey, why the fuck do I got to play this trash ass middle linebacker out there in front of these other dudes that could actually cover somebody? Because you want your money on the field.
Yeah, well, like I said, man, it's kind of, we'll see how that continues to kind of pan out. There's another guy on the offensive side. When we talk about Sean Lee, there's another guy on the offensive side, and this is kind of crazy to me, Mike. Me and you, we already been talking about Kellen Moore. We got some people that just don't like him. Okay, whatever. Now we've already broke down the stats. We've already said, you had a number one total offense last year as a rookie. You have a top 15 total offense with the influx of 4 different quarterbacks, 2 different running backs, multiple offensive linemen. yes, you might not be perfect in your play calling, but you haven't been damn bad. And I know some other teams that would definitely like you. It's just kind of crazy to me. I made a video yesterday, Mike, and I said, is this the end of Kellen Moore? So many people when I posted in these groups, man, it's just crazy how Cowboys fans are. They was like, yeah, good riddance, get him out of here. Like it was more negative about Kellen Moore than anything. You had a guy who we averaged 27 points a game last year as a first year, over 430 yards a game total. You come in this year, you were averaging over 30 points a game with Dak Prescott. It wasn't his fault the defense was trash. And you still are averaging 24 a game, even with this influx of players, line, and everything else. I don't get it. But now there's talking about, the Boise State coach, he left and it's an opening. And I don't know, dog. To me, I'm going to ask your opinion. That'd be hard for me if I was Kellen Moore, because I'm going to a team that's going to give me everything I want. I can recruit how I want. The only way I see, maybe in my opinion, where he stay with Dallas is if they're like, you're going to be the next head coach of Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I fired Mike McCarthy before I let Kellen Moore leave.
Really?
Period. Period. No two ways about it.
I already said they were grooming him to be the next head coach.
The offensive coordinator quarterback relationship is hands down the most important thing in sports. If you let Kellen Moore leave, you might as well let Dak Prescott leave. You keep changing offensive coordinators like your socks. Because he had Linehan, then he had Garrett, then he had Garrett / Kellen Moore, then he got a little bit of Kellen Moore, then he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Period. I don't know what you do. Like, why would you let Kellen Moore leave? If you want Mike McCarthy calling plays, then fire Kellen Moore and let Dak Prescott go and go back to the gutter. Mike McCarthy can barely handle calling a team right now. You want him doing plays too? So
you're not going to give him credit for this 5-9 resurgence? I'm not resurgence, but you're not going to give him credit on this?
No, I will. Jason, this team would be maybe a 2-win team with Jason Garrett.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no shadow of doubt. Absolutely no way in hell the Jason Garrett coach Cowboys won that game last week. They maybe lose by 40 points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because he lets Kellen Moore do his job.
Well, I mean, he does it, but you know what? They were saying that with Garrett. Garrett was, whenever something happened, he was like, hey, they make the calls. I'll let them kind of do their thing. So what do you think the difference?
And that's absolutely fucking bullshit.
Okay. So talk to me. I mean, you thought he was lying when he was saying that?
Yes. Okay. There's absolutely no way in hell that Kellen Moore had autonomy in the offense last year. Absolutely no way. Go back, just use the Minnesota game as an example. You trying to tell me that when Dak Prescott is clicking at 9.6 yards per toss and the run game's at 2.4, he's Boise State great Kellen Moore is going to dial up 16 first down runs for 2.3 yards per carry? No. The same reason they're not running the ball, that they're not run heavy this year, because it's not working. They still call run plays, and it's still annoying. And you can go to any offensive you want in the NFL. You can go to Shanahan, you can go to McVay, you can go to Bill Burr in New York, you can go to all those guys. They still call plays that make you, really scrunch your forehead that you don't agree with, but that's just the way football go. The fact of the matter is that these quarterbacks, specifically Andy Dalton, has been leaving plays on the field. And that's why people hate Kellen. There's plays you can turn on 22.
Yeah, the 22 shows he's missing plays. He's missing plays everywhere.
Missing all the plays, and people want to put that on Kellen, which is hilarious. You want Jason Garrett back? Jason Garrett's the Jason Garrett New York Giants are what 16? They're at like 16 points per game right now.
Right.
No, I'm not talking like how Kellen Moore's a Hall of Fame.
Hey, don't pay no attention to him, Mike. He don't know what the hell he talking about. Don't pay no attention.
I'm talking about like good coaching is hard to come by, and you don't run one off just because you're fucking getting cute with things.
Yeah. Let's keep on getting them likes up, man. The likes are coming up. We got more people coming up in the building, man. Let's keep on getting these likes up in the building. Um, so yeah, I wouldn't want Kellen Moore to go, but I think. Do you think he is going to leave though? You know what I'm saying? When I was
I'm
telling you
worried.
that,
I'm worried about it.
I'm really worried too because that's Boise State and that's his spot. That's like a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I mean? Like Boise State, it's not just going to keep opening up every year. You know what I mean? And he's only 32 years old.
It's not. It wouldn't be the the fourth time that Jerry Jones has cracked open that checkbook, kept people from leaving.
And he will, and because coach has got unlimited salary.
Mm-hmm. So, and it. I think it. I'm just now putting this together.
Mm-hmm.
If Kellen Moore leaves, Dak Prescott's behind him.
You think so? I mean, Dak is the guy that, hey, whoever's here. I mean, here's my thing on this situation with Dak. All right, just real quick, because I don't want to jump on that so deep because it's just so long and drawn out. It's so old that we're even still talking about it because the management didn't do, I feel, their job still because you let this man get paid. Like, I feel like Dak is going to stay with his feet dug in the ground. I feel like he's not going to budge from what he's doing. Because after a while, I mean, I'm putting myself in the player. Like if I did all this and I'm still not getting paid and I got hurt and I still keep on hearing salary cap come out this guy's mouth, I'm not going to budge from what I'm doing. I've earned the right to be able to sit out and get paid because guess what? If you won't pay me a 4-year deal, somebody else is. I can go to somebody else, somebody's going to pay this money and they might have a good team and I am going to win with them. You know what I'm saying? And you will be starting over with a new quarterback and you don't know what's going to happen. So, yes, that is, to me, a whole hell of a lot of leverage because that's the unknown.
There's 10 plus teams out there that would
They're going to win with Dak.
They would die at the chance to give up 2 first-round picks just to give a chance to give Dak a fully guaranteed 4-year contract. That's how hard quarterbacks are to come by.
And I feel like he's finally proven.
And they are not absolute. They are, and the Jones boys are out there playing cute when they drunk stumbled into one. You can go get Jared Goff. You want him? Jared Goff's $136 million cap hit this year. You want that dude? You want him? You want Andy Dalton? You want Jimmy Garoppolo? You want Drew Lock? You want Minshew? You want Carson Wentz? You want Mitchell Trubisky? You want Sam Darnold? You want these dudes? Right. All those dudes I just listed were surefire, can't miss prospects coming out of the draft. Mm-hmm. And look at them now. Trevor Lawrence is Peyton Manning with athleticism. Zach Wilson could be the next Mahomes. You don't know. You have a boat in the garage. You want to trade that one in for the chance to maybe get a raffle ticket to get a boat, a bigger boat down the road, or you want to hook up to the boat you got and go to the lake and win the goddamn championship.
Yeah, man. Like I said, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. Because like I said, I don't have the confidence of it, and I don't. The talk is cheap, and I don't believe anything they say out their mouths, man.
No, so, absolutely not.
They're definitely liars to me, and I just don't believe it. So we'll see. Let's talk about some players, man. No players made the Pro Bowl for the first time in over 30 years with Dallas Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Surprised?
No.
Do you think at least Zach Martin, maybe Dalton Schultz?
Popularity contest.
Yeah, true story. But let's look at Dalton Schultz. Do you think he had a Pro Bowl?
He should have made it. DeMarcus Lawrence should have made it, but the way they categorize linebackers and pass rushers is broken in the NFL. So that's another conversation.
Right.
LP Heinlender's never made a Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pro Bowl, Jalen Smith made it last year.
Mm-hmm.
After like 7 dropouts, but he made the Pro Bowl. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The All Pro is something that means something. That is that absolutely something.
Right. Well, I don't, like I said, I don't really care about the Pro Bowl or anything like that. But my main thing is this team needs to just continue to play harder. Now, we're talking about Donovan Wilson came back. He came back with abandon, got him an interception. I think he makes the secondary play better. Diggs is back there. This is one of the few times I think we might have back-to-back weeks where all the secondary will be back there. What do you think the defense should do as far as a game plan against the Philadelphia Eagles going to this game? They still got that little guy. Got, Alshon Jeffrey's there, Rager. But like you said, I'm not scared of Jalen Hurts passing the ball. But what I am worried about with Jalen Hurts is broken plays. He'll have broken plays because it seems our secondary gets confused on broken plays and we give up those big plays. What do you think we should do as far as attacking the Jalen Hurts or this Philadelphia offense going into this game, Mike?
The same way you would play Taysom Hill. He's going to run all over us, but I don't expect him to be. I mean, he very well may throw the ball all over us because our secondary is all battered and bruised, and our defensive tackles are broken. But our offense can.
Our secondary is not going to play better, against them, especially with Diggs back in and Wilson.
The mobile quarterback, man. The mobile quarterback is just tore us up for regardless of personnel for the better part of a decade.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they will attack us with the mobility with Jalen Hurts?
Why wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
That if they decide to let Jalen Hurts throw the football, Cowboys win this game.
Mm-hmm.
But if they decide to do that outside zone and that RPO offense and get them moving outside the tackles, it could be a long day in the sun for this defense.
Right. Who do you think we should come at them as far as sending blitzes off that edge? Maybe crowd them up front, send those heavy blitzes up the front, maybe kind of push him out the pocket. Because he may be less accurate when he's on the run. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you should play soft zone. Any yardage short situation over like 5,
mm-hmm.
just play zone and send a blitz,
mm-hmm.
particularly up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jalen's not going to be able to track him outside the tackles. So if you could send him up the middle, not saying that he'll get him, he may completely bail out of that straight line tackle in the backfield, but it still disrupts the play. And by that time, Tank or Gregory may be able to get free, or Donovan Wilson may be able to creep down inside because he's seen him bail out of the pocket, and there's something like that. That's you can contain him.
Mm-hmm.
Make him throw the ball because he's not going to beat you throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like I said, the broken plays is what I worry about. I worry about him getting flushed out the pocket and just throwing something deep on us. I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy how this is happening. So, as David Woods, he's still sometimey to me. So we'll see. Jordan Lewis has been playing better, though. He had the last couple of pretty good games. Cheeto, I thought, played pretty good in this game as well. He's turned his head around, almost had a would-be interception, should have had that interception, but he was breaking on the ball good. I thought he played good in coverage. And I think we match up well against their receivers. And I feel like, this is a game that Dallas can win just because of the way it's kind of set up now. On the defensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball with our Cowboys, they got a nice front. They played against the Cardinals. I think they only got like 103 yards, and they're one of the top rushing offenses in the league, and they got stifled, and we know about that front with the Philadelphia Eagles led by Fletcher Cox. Secondary, though, we seen Kyler Murray threw for like 400 on them. They was just dissecting them.
And Kyler Murray is not a good NFL quarterback. He's a damn good athlete, but if you want that dude to throw the ball on you, and he's not the one you want, and like you said, he absolutely cooked that team.
Right, and so he's cooking them left and right. So what would be your kind of game plan for Andy Dalton, knowing that they got that front, knowing they may come with the blitz, and you don't have an Ezekiel Elliott, may not have an Ezekiel Elliott for back-to-back games, and Tony Pollard may be the lead dog. And I honestly don't think Tony Pollard can run for 100 yards unless he gets one of them loose runs. I don't think he's one of them guys, and not saying he can't do a 20, 25-yard 20 carry game. I definitely think he can, but not against this front. I don't think he just has that stoutness to really be able to move that front. I think he'll get chunk yards with explosive plays. What do you think that the kind of the game plan going against this Philadelphia defense for the Cowboys offense to kind of pull this game out?
Attack their secondary. They can't cover. Slay's terrible.
So, I mean, should we hit a lot of – because we were doing that screen game real good with Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Should we really screen game? Michael Gallup had a pretty good game. Is that a game that you will see a lot of Michael Gallup? Do you think this is a game
whoever your matchups are, because they can't cover. They cannot cover. They cannot cover these wide receivers. They can't. Period. I really don't care. It doesn't matter if it's Philadelphia or New England or who's San Francisco. I don't care. Nobody can cover these wide receivers. Period. No, not one team in the NFL. You can't do it. It's been proven. That's why you got Amari Cooper who's going on 1,000 yards, and CeeDee Lamb still may hit 1,000 yards. Like,
right, he's at 847. Yeah,
seriously. Nobody can cover these dudes. And if they try to line up, they lined up last week, and when they tried, they gap a couple times and realized that wasn't going to work. And then they went right outside the tackles of Pollard, and it clicked. And if you attack outside the tackles and you throw on these dudes, you can win the game just like you did last week.
Mel gonna come at you. See his question? He said, Mike, you're still thinking like traditional NFL football. Kyler's a good NFL quarterback for today's game.
Kyler's a damn good athlete. He's had 5 games this year with negative CPOE when he won by more than one possession. He's not a quarterback, period.
You think he's going to grow into that position?
No, he very well can. He damn sure has the dedication to. I mean, Dak won a couple games his rookie season with, negative CPOE. But at this point, no, he has issues after his first read. He has the same issues Lamar Jackson has. If his first read's not there, he bails the hell out of a pocket. Those dudes love bailing out of a clean pocket. Deshaun Watson still does the same thing. They'll bail out of a clean pocket into a sack, and then people will blame it on the offensive line.
Listen to this, man. That's good stuff right there. So let's talk about, I haven't really been super, I've got some draft guys. Connor was on here. And, I've been looking a little bit more with this draft. Let's say Cowboys win this, and they're in that middle of the pack now. What do you think they would do with that?
I have 4 names that I would be relatively sure on. You got Farley, you got Slater, you got Pitts, and you got Parsons.
So those were some. I mean, if you got 4 guys like that, let's say you got 4 guys like that that's coming to your pick. You win the NFC East. You have that pick. You got those 4 guys that slide to you. Who are you picking out of those 4 guys?
Farley.
And why?
Because he's a 4'4" guy with long arms. He's a rangy corner. He's an opt-out guy, so you're going off a 2019 tape. And he's still an ascending corner. He's kind of the same thing as Diggs. Not absolutely. I'm not saying they're the same exact player. Just it's a 1 year at the position. There's not a lot of tape there, and this, that, and the other. But he shows the traits that you want. And I would, at the mid-teens, I don't hate it. I really don't. I would prefer a wide receiver, just because the top of this draft, the top 20 picks, in my opinion, should all, like 18 of them should be offense. Farley from Vautech, So he's where you want. He's never out of position.
He's like about 6'2", right?
Yeah, he's a size queen. Stephen Jones, a size queen, is going to love him. He's rangy. He's got ball skills. He can turn his corner. He's got long arms. He's got speed. He's got range. He's got quick hips. He's a damn good corner. But he's not. There's absolutely nobody in this draft on the
So he
defense.
could come in like Diggs did, and they can be the 1-2 combo.
Diggs would be a top 20 prospect in this draft.
No. I'm saying if they let's say they went out and drafted
Yeah.
Farley,
Yeah.
those are your 2 starting corners right there, right?
Yeah.
What do you think happens to Robinson? Do you still think they try to transition him to safety if they were to go after Farley? Do you think that experiment
is Robinson even going to be on the team? I mean, he can't get on the goddamn
that's
field.
Crazy. I know. Well, he had a game high special team snaps. I guess that's progress. 22 snaps.
He's over there in Jordan Lewis land. You know.
I mean, I don't know, dog. For the way they were raving about him. My thing is with that, Mike, with this Robinson thing, they were a little bit more open with Bradley and I saying, you know what, he's done this, he's done that, he's done everything, but it's been a numbers game, which is very frustrating to hear. A numbers game, he probably, I don't know, probably get in there a few plays, but they're so hush-hush on Reggie Robinson, like so many people asking about him, and it's like you don't get no answers. You know what I mean? It's like you get at least a little bit of answers for Bradley and Nye or some of these other guys, or maybe Biadish.
I get shoulder shrugs.
Nothing out. You don't hear anything about him.
Like I know dudes that like literally work for the team.
I know you do. That's why I'm asking you. Like, what the hell is going on? I know you talking to these guys. What the hell are they telling you?
I get shoulder shrugs.
Really?
The same thing we got with Pollard and Wilson last year. And then look what happens when they get on the field.
So then basically they're saying that they think Robinson is talented. We're like, we don't know why they're not playing. Is it they're giving that kind of shoulder shrug?
Yes. It's why don't you put cheese on your pizza? Speaking of that, I'm about to go check on my barbecue, bud. So
go ahead and check on it. Hey, well, I appreciate you jumping on here, big dog.
Just for sure. Hey, it's been a good show. Merry Christmas, my friend.
Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, and tell them that you got that podcast getting ready to pop off.
Yeah. Podcast coming off. The Star podcast coming out. Should be getting off the ground within the next 3 to 4 days. Got to get got the Audacity going, hooking up with the sponsors and stuff like that. Trying to get my recording and everything trimmed down, Pat. Mm-hmm. Hooking up gas and stuff like that. Other than that, my handle's @NotToBeTrite on Twitter. I really appreciate everybody checking in with us. Talking, and let's talk that nonsense. So
yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. We'll see. And make sure you go check out that podcast. It's getting ready to come up. Go follow them on Twitter because, like I said, you'll learn something new every day, man. And go holler at that barbecue. I'm gonna stay on maybe about 10 more minutes. And I'm gonna be out of here. But Merry Christmas to you, man. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, my friend. Y'all have a good one.
I appreciate you.
Later, Bubba.
That's my guy, Mike White, man. Appreciate Mike Burgers and Blitzes, the quick edition, because it's Christmas Eve. We ain't going to stay up on here all day. But just kind of my thoughts on a few things before I head up out of here. Appreciate everybody in the building. Donate if you like. You see that Big Game James Cash App. If you want to holler at your boy, it is Christmas. I take gifts. You know what I'm saying? It's the gift of giving. Just saying. But just kind of flowing off the last, my last kind of few things about this. Jalen Hurts, against these, Cowboys. I think it's going to be a very interesting game to me. I really want to see how this goes because, like I said, I think, talent-wise, I don't think Jalen Hurts has that, great, it doesn't have the arm, the accuracy, but it's just kind of something about him to me like Dak. I just really feel that way. And, I feel like he has that kind of factor where it may not be the prettiest. It may not be, everything that looks, beautiful, but it gets it done. And you just like, man, he makes his team play better. And I think that's what he brings to the team. And I feel like I'd rather see a Carson Wentz because, talent doesn't always, you can have all the talent in the world, but that ain't going to win you games. And, when shout out to my dog Skywalker, for that great interview with Darius Butler. You definitely need to go check that out. But one of the things I like listening to with Darius Butler is listening to these young guys. We've had a nice set of, veterans that have played the game, old, the Hall of Fame type guys, Woodson, guys back in the day in the 90s, even some guys earlier than that. But, we started to get a few of the, the new generation. And it's like I like hearing those guys talk because I played a game. I played the game. I played in locker room, so I know how it is. But do you see it from a NFL guy's perspective? Is good to hear because of what he's saying. What the camaraderie of the team, leadership is big. Having veterans leading the team, having a scheme that you believe in, regardless of what goes on. Those are things that all go hand in hand on why you're not winning. If you don't trust the scheme and maybe you don't trust the players, when you see miscommunication problems, that's why. And you're hearing it from a guy who's been there and done that, and then been in organizations that won and been there and done that. It just gives you a little bit more perspective. So when you're watching these teams and you're watching all 22 and you're watching the film, you're just like, that's what he was talking about. So just really appreciate listening to those guys talk because they give the perspective that you want to hear of what's really going on in this locker room. Was why are they playing like this, or why did he do this move, or why is he doing that? And you got to listen to these players, man, because they kind of give you the heads up of why this and that happens, and why this player can't do this and why this player can't do that. And you start understanding a little bit more about the game. So that's why we try to bring these type of guys out there that have played the game, because it gives you a more interesting perspective on the inside and the nuances of what really goes on in that locker room and behind the scenes. Let's get some questions in here. Steve Bailey. Bro, Harold, I don't care about no damn Pro Bowl, bro. I'm like keeping it real. But I got my guy, Steve Bailey. Shout out to you. He says, can our defense be very dominant all game long against this Eagles Sunday? I hope so. I don't think we haven't been dominant all year, in my opinion. Okay. We haven't been dominant at all, in my opinion. We still have the worst defense in the league, so there's no part of us ever being dominant um, this whole year. But I will say, um, I like how we've gotten turnovers. I think we got 7 turnovers in the last 2 games. And when the games that looks like when we've won or done good is when the Cowboys have got turnovers. So I don't know about it being dominant. I don't think that's going to be happening. But I definitely feel like we can get some turnovers. The Eagles still gave up 6 sacks against this Cardinals defense. They had some turnovers as well. Jalen Hurts had 3 turnovers in that game, and he was sacked 6 times. So that's still telling you that offensive line is broken, and you can get the turnover game with them still. So I think that's the biggest thing the Cowboys need to focus on, maybe getting some turnovers and getting the offense in good field position, because that's going to be a tough defensive front that they're going against all game. I wonder if Zeke plays though. I don't know if that's still up in the air with Zeke. We'll see how that happens. Um, I'm not guaranteeing Zeke against there. And if Tony Pollard plays, I don't want them to force that run up the middle. They're going to have to really use Tony Pollard in other ways, because I feel like, he's not that stout guy that's going to push that pocket like Ezekiel Elliott is. That's just the truth. He's not going to do that. But he is going to add that explosiveness that Ezekiel Elliott is not. So I feel like they need to capitalize on that if Ezekiel Elliott is out again, and not be stubborn and try to keep on trying to force the run up the middle. When Tony Pollard, that's not really his game. He can do it, I believe, but that's not really his game. Go to his strengths in that game, and it's getting him out in space. Anybody got any other questions before I get up off of here on this Christmas Eve? The snow is crazy. I went off the side of the road today, man. It was wild. I never, ever have drove off the side of the road. Like, I don't think I've ever drove off the side of the road. I've always seen everybody drive off the side of the road, and I don't never be clowning people, nothing like that. I don't be clowning people, but I'll be like, damn, that's messed up. They went off the side of the road. But I was going to the crib, and you got the one way this way, one way that way, and the snow was getting bad. What I'm saying, in the country, it was getting a lot worse, and that snow was staying on the ground. I wasn't going like super fast, nothing like that, but the score in front of me kind of hit their brakes quick, and I wasn't like on their ass or nothing like that. But when they hit their brakes, you know how you kind of just not panic, but you hit it like kind of slow. And when I hit it, my wheels, as soon as I hit that snow, it just like. Luckily, it was there wasn't nobody coming the other way. And so I hit it, and I was think I was going like 40 something miles an hour. And I just hit it, and I was like, oh shit. And there was a telephone pole right there. So I was like turning my wheel so I wouldn't smack into the telephone pole because I would have been heated. And I went right past the telephone pole, boom, hit off the ditch, jumped in the dirt. And first thing I thought was, damn, is my tire broke? Because the way I hit it was like boom, boom. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be stuck. I can't get out of here. It's winter, it's snowing. I'm in the middle of a field. Um, I don't want to call nobody. How I gotta get, man, I'm gonna be pissed, and it's cold. So I was just like, man, I hope I ain't stuck. I was mad as hell. But that's the good benefits of having a truck. I hit that reverse, and as soon as I hit that reverse, and when you ain't hitting that where you stuck in the mud, as soon as I hit it, it backed straight up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm good, I'm good." And I was like, "Hold up, let me not get too excited." Backed up a little more, and the wheels wasn't spinning or nothing like that. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's perfect." I'm glad this mud is just hard, just enough so it ain't boom. So I backed all the way out. There was a little side road right there, so I could just back right out. Got right back on that freeway with a little two-way, and dip my ass out. So that shit was cool. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't cool what happened, but it was cool that, what I'm saying, my vehicle ain't messed up or nothing like that. And I can still drive, and I ain't got no crashed up whip for real. Cause I really been hot about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what you asked, Mel. My dog Mel Hayes Goon Squad, BGJ. What you think about Jordan Lewis spying Hurts? I mean, I don't think they're gonna have him spying him though. I mean, he plays the slot position. The only thing they'll have that if anybody's gonna be doing some spying, it's gonna be probably some Jalen Smith, maybe a Sean Lee. Maybe those guys will be spying Hurts, but it won't be a Jordan Lewis, in my opinion. But I do think they will do that again, like they did last game, where they send a surprise blitz of Jordan Lewis on that blitz off the edge, in that slot. I definitely think that will come in that game because he's really good with that. I mean, he had 4 sacks last year and he had a sack last week. So I definitely think they'll try that again. But a spying, I don't think that will happen. Steve Bailey says, why isn't CeeDee Lamb getting the ball a lot more in the game? I mean, it's the same way Amari Cooper didn't get a ball in the game. You got to understand that San Francisco defense, even though it wasn't the defense as it was last year, the reason why they're hot right now is because that defensive coordinator over there, he's a hot guy. You know, he's looking to get a new, maybe a possible head coach job. And he made it really hard for, guys to get open. But if you look at the season, he's still getting the ball. I mean, he's 179 yards from 1,000 yards. That's beating Bullet Bob Hayes, I believe, record. So he's definitely still getting the ball because you wouldn't be getting the ball and almost setting records, a rookie record for most yards. He already got the most receptions as a rookie. Now he may be getting most yards as a rookie. So he's getting the ball. Steve Bailey come with all the questions. That's cool. I can answer them jokers. Will Zeke get to play Sunday? If not, Pollard run the ball a lot more Sunday against Eagles. I mean, I don't think they're going to force. Hopefully, they don't force like a 20 carry game for Pollard. Like I said, that's not really his game. He's not that inside the guy trenches. I believe he can run inside, but he's not that guy you just want to keep pounding. He's the one of the guys you want to get out. Like I said, in space, you want to do pitch outs with him, rollouts. You know what I'm saying? You want to do sweeps with him. Do some counters. But you want to get him out in space where he can use his feet and his quick ability, his quick stride, and his acceleration up out of there. So I think that's what they should do with him. If Zeke plays, start Zeke and batter ram them guys. If you can't soften up that middle, and then hit him with the long run with Pollard. What up, draft time? Brandon Knight at left tackle, Smooth TV. Yeah, Brandon Knight's going to be starting left tackle. Cam Irvin actually was playing good. I'll keep it real. I didn't think he would play good at all at that left tackle position. He played good, very admirable this year. Yeah, definitely Brandon Knight's going to be at left tackle. And he has struggled since he's come back from injury. I was excited about Brandon Knight, and I still think he's a good backup, good swing tackle option. Him and Terrence Steele could be your two swing tackle options going into next year. I know they had not drafted, but they got Mitch Hyatt out of Clemson a few years ago, and they're probably possibly looking at him at that role. But I think Brandon Knight has maybe solidified that him and Terrence Steele as your swing tackles going into the next year in the future, and they're young. I hope he's able to bounce back because he's going to have a tough time in this Philly front. Because, like I said, he struggled the last few weeks. He was not good last week. So he's got to get it together. I mean, he's not the most athletic guy. We know that. But, he's got a little bit of power. He's just got to have really good sound technique, going forward, especially in this game against Philly. We're going to need a big game from him. A lot of offensive lines we're going to have to play. Draft time, what's up with you? Says, do you think CD gonna get 1,000 this week? He only needs 173 yards for his banged up secondary. Nah, I don't think he's gonna get it this week. Um, I think he could get 100 yards this game, but I don't think he gets 173. I don't think he gets it this week. Um, Giants secondary is pretty tough, and they got a tough defense too. Um, I don't think he gets it this week, but I definitely think it can happen. In these two games, I was a little suspect. I said in the beginning, I think last week, I said I don't think he's going to get it. He can definitely get it, but it's going to be tough for him to get unless they really force feed him because Gallup has kind of been stepping up the last few games. He's been getting some targets. We know what Cooper has done. Dalton Schultz has been getting targets. You've seen him. Tony Pollard out the backfield. So they got a lot of weapons that's going to be going down. And even this next two games, especially if you're playing for a playoff position. So I don't know if he gets force fed where he can get that. But we'll see because the Eagles secondary is banged up. But we know Cooper has been a Eagles killer in his career. And before they were going away from him, he's always working them Eagles. So, and he's at home. I would want to see Amari Cooper slice and dice them guys all day. Oh man, what Christmas movie? I told you I'm a Grinch, bro. I don't care about Christmas. Like it doesn't matter what anybody tells me. I think y'all don't want to hear what my thing is on Christmas. Y'all don't want to hear it because then I'll just make y'all be like, you a Grinch for real. Um I'm always gonna watch the Christmas story. I will say that. That's just my all-time classic, my all-time favorite Christmas movie. That's the only thing I really watch on Christmas is the Christmas story because I can never get tired of that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't be on no Christmas stuff, man. Christmas is very overrated to me. You know, they just capitalize on. I don't know. It's all about money. See, there you go. She answered. None. I'll watch the Grinch or the Christmas story if you got it up, but People can't hate on me because I don't like Christmas. Like, if you like Christmas, that's fine. Can't hate on me because I don't like Christmas because I see it for what it is. You know what I mean? And people can spend it how they want. But if we go to the original thing of Christmas, it ain't even what we doing right now. And I just feel like, if you don't do stuff for somebody for Christmas, you're looked at a bad person. Like, like I said with your kids, like if you got kids and they've just been assumed this way of you're gonna buy these gifts on this day. It's a day of giving. No, every day is a day of giving. Ain't no one day, no day of giving. And ain't no one day where you just sit aside for everybody to just do gifts because most time it ain't just giving gifts. You spending money. If it was about a giving, you just go do something, just chill with your family. You don't need to go spend, but everybody's spending. You know what I mean? And that's what everybody assumes. And kids nowadays ain't sitting there thinking like, oh, well, we just gonna chill and eat cookies and have eggnog, and we ain't getting no gifts. We just gonna just sit around and just be together. A lot of kids gonna look at you like you crazy, like you a bad person. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this world is messed up what Christmas really is, and I don't think it's ever gonna get back to that. This don't even feel like no Christmas to me, for real, for real. I just feel like it ain't the same no more. That's my dog. I'm a Grinch ass Negro for real. What you drinking? No. I had a little bit of liquor earlier today. Um, I don't know. I'm probably be smoking today. I'm gonna probably be good on the drink today. I'm gonna do some smoking today. 024, baby. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's definitely this popping right here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing nothing else. This was popping. You know what I mean? So, what up, Uncle Charles? Yeah, I get it. When I was a kid, I loved some Christmas. That's because I just understood I was getting gifts. But once I started getting older and started really understanding, I was like, hold up. And why should I just? Just my thing. Like, why should I just do something because the world told me to? I'm not doing something because the world told me to. I'm not going to celebrate a day just because the world does it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that. And if people want to look at me like bad, okay. But I'm not celebrating something just because the world says you have to celebrate this day as this. We have to do this. No, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I can celebrate on any day because guess what? If you got a core, right, and you didn't get it on Christmas, but you got it when you needed it, you got it 2 months later, and you was really needing a car, you got that car, and what you gonna be thinking? Merry Christmas? No, you know what I'm saying? Somebody came through for you and hooked you up. It didn't have to be on no damn day where I had to break my back and make sure all my money was gone for this damn day. No, y'all be getting gassed up. I ain't getting gassed up for no Christmas no more. I'm good on that. Ha, wink. You feel me? Like, hey, I wear that Grinch proud. Like I will always say, I'm the Grinch, and I run it. You know what I'm saying I just I'm just not gonna go by what the world says, man. Too much of this stuff. Oh, Thanksgiving is this day, Christmas is this day, blah 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 this day. You know how many days they make up? Sweetest day, National uh, Boyfriend Day, National Girlfriend Day, National Kid Day, National Brothers Day, National Man. They just be making up days and just be making up stuff just so you can spend money, man. I'm not falling for the mumbo jumbo. Ain't no family in this stuff, man. Whatever. So whatever. But hey, I appreciate y'all. I'm getting off of here though, because I'm about to hold 2-4 in this piece. Been a long day. I can't strap, and I don't want no hand class, even though you can give it to me if you want. But you know what? I had to work today. But I felt good today at work. You know what I'm saying? Like I really love my job once again. I'm in my head. I'm really gonna push to see if Ty could sponsor me. Like, why do I keep on thinking in my head they may sponsor me? Why do I keep on thinking that Tide may sponsor me? because I'm killing it over there. You feel me? Like I'm killing it over there. Like I said, I felt real good. I don't drink coffee. I had this dude come over there today. I helped him out. He came back through and he was like, came back like 15 minutes later with the coffee and a gift card. Like, hey, I like you over here. You killing it. Here's, I'm make sure I take care of you. Okay, okay. And this is, like I said, this is a nice neighborhood. This is a very well-to-do neighborhood. So these people got money that where I work at. So you know what I mean? Uh, went in today, didn't have to work today, but I picked up some hours and left straight from there. And like I said, I had the little crazy incident and came right on here and jumped on. So I need to get me some rest because I'm probably just gonna chill all day because it's gonna be another strong weekend. And then let's get ready for this game, man. I don't know if we got that little Philly Cowboys thing. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. Um, Appreciate you, Mel. I don't know if we're gonna do that. I'll send the link out if we do, and it's enough time. They got the Philly guys over there, Philly podcasters, YouTubers, Cowboys podcasters. It was me, Jay Tuck, Cowboys Family Talk, Mr. Rome, Spoonie was in there, Sid was in there. I don't know who would be in there this time. So if you know if it's later in the day on Saturday, I'll jump in there. Y'all jump in there. We're gonna go at it, Philly Cowboys again. I think that's a Saturday tentatively. If I do it, I got the link. I'll send the link out and y'all can watch that. And then you know what it is, the hype going down on Sunday, and you know it's game time, and we're gonna see what happened with these Cowboys. Are they gonna win? What's going to happen? It's I don't know what team we're gonna see. This team is unpredictable, so we'll see what happens. But love you guys once again. Appreciate you guys for the likes, follows, subs, members, all that good stuff. Like I said, we at 5K, almost at 5,100 already, and let's keep on shooting to the roof, man. The grind is going to be fierce like no other. Really focused on getting this even better and off the ground on some things. I got some things in the works that I'm trying to put together. I just got to put these schedules together, how I'm trying to do this. But best believe I got some more stuff in the works, man. Some guests, some new things as far as video breakdowns. Just like I said, just got some things in the works. So I'm really just going hard in the paint as far as on the money tip and everything like that. But appreciate you guys, appreciate my members, appreciate the love you guys have always done. And let's see what happens Sunday, man. And definitely want to beat these Eagles. Uh I ain't tripping about draft positions, although I understand what Mike was talking about. I want to stay in the top half so you can get the top half level of talent. But I definitely don't want to lose to the Eagles twice and get swept. We came out of nowhere and beat them Niners. That's one of my most hated teams. Redskins, Steelers, Niners, Eagles. Like that's like the session right there. So we got swept by them sorry ass Washington team. Damn Steelers got us. We got them Niners. So we need to get these Eagles to make me feel a little better. All right. So we'll talk to y'all soon, man. Jump in the feed. You know what it is. Cowboys, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James. I'll holler at you, man. Love y'all. Peace.